Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am Brock with another video. You know what you got to do? Rate, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when my next live stream or video goes down. Follow me on Twitter. Right now. If you follow me on Twitter, and my handle is I'm Chris the Dom One on Twitter. I got a vote. I got a poll for you guys to vote for best duo in the NBA today. I got several duos, so I want you to go to Twitter, vote on who you believe that's the best duo in the NBA, and if you follow me, you'll know the answer to the conclusion of best duo in the NBA. Well, got all that out of the way. Let's talk about today's topic, and I briefly touched on it yesterday. Melvin Gordon, running back for the Los Angeles Chargers, which was kind of funny. I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story real fast, real quick. When I was searching for the article, I was on Bleacher Report, and I typed in San Diego Chargers. Couldn't find any news on the San Diego Chargers. You know why? Because they're the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay? And that even gives more credence to this article, as well as my thoughts on the article, as well as Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is wanting a big payday contract. He's a running back for the LA Chargers. Let's get used to saying that instead of San Diego Chargers. And he wants a huge payday. Okay, business is booming with Melvin Gordon, and the two sides are kind of stalled on the amount of money. And not the length of the contract, but the amount of money in this contract. And to be truthfully honest with you, the Los Angeles Chargers, technically they got an out. If they want to just go ahead and give him the contract, they can basically say that, well, look, after our quarterback retires, and Rivers, you probably got like maybe 3 or 4 more years, but you're still gonna need some up and rising star. So they could use that angle, like, well, we was forced, we had no choice but to give him the contract, okay? Because we're still trying to sell tickets, all right, at the end of the day. But it's a much deeper problem with running backs, not only Melvin Gordon, but running backs in general. And in today's NFL, you don't really need to mortgage or eat all your salary cap space on a running back. Not in today's NFL, particularly when passing has gone up and the dynamics of how to build a team has changed. Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, teams will go into the NFL draft with this perspective. Of course, we're going to get a quarterback, okay? If we need a quarterback, we're going to get a quarterback. But it's going to have to be a solid foundation of a quarterback. And if the quarterback is not available, or if he's already been picked up, or he's off the board, then we'll probably focus our attention on a running back, offensive lineman, defensive tackle. That was the recipe for success if you was an NFL team. Not anymore. In today's NFL, it's quarterback, 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 quarterback. If quarterback was an apartment or a condo in a great community next to a school sitting on top of a hill, you got a great commodity there. It's sell on the quarterback. Everything else just if you can find, if you got the best running back in the NFL draft, people are not going to give you kudos for that. They're going to give kudos to the other team that picked the quarterback. And that's what today's NFL is. It's a passing league. Okay? Or if you already got a top-notch quarterback on your roster, you bolster that offense with an offensive line. But the running back, and I've been talking about this for the past couple of years, running back is a great running back is obsolete in today's NFL. Now, the purpose of a running back in the older generations was to eat up a lot of time, very productive, and getting third down. A lot of old school coaches, if you look at the percentages, there was a higher percentage of actually running for to get first if he was on third down. Even, and coaches knew that, and they would try to stop the run. But if you have a great running back, he's going to get that third down. Best believe that. Not anymore. They even pass on third down. Hell, they even pass on fourth down because of the rules, they completely change year after year after year, and it benefits the offense, but more important, it really benefits the quarterback. So running backs are not a premium no more. Every year, it's difficult for a running back to get his money because of that issue. Dak Prescott, who I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, I feel like they should give Dak Prescott the money. You know why? Twofold. I feel like, even though he doesn't do a lot of things great, okay, but he's still solid at that position. But more important than that, quarterbacks are hard to find. They one go, and you can slot anyone in there, okay? Some franchises are still to this day searching for a quarterback. That's the problem. That's the gift and the curse of searching for a quarterback, drafting for a quarterback. There are some teams that in this modern era still don't have a quarterback, but still always take chances on quarterbacks in the NFL draft. Some chances are not as concrete and solid as other chances. And then that's why they keep continuing every year searching for a quarterback. But that's why Dak Prescott can get that money, because he knows that ultimately, if the Dallas Cowboys do not give him $30 million, he knows he can walk, go to another team, and get a similar deal, if not more money. Because quarterbacks are the new premium. Running backs used to share that position. Not anymore. Not anymore. Another thing with Melvin Gordon and with running backs in general is running backs production. Let me fall back a little bit. Running back, if you got a running back, generally you're going to get the best out of him for the first 5 years before you sign him to one of those big huge contracts. And after he signs that first deal, you'll probably get maybe 2-3 years, pretending on the quarterback and pretending on running back, and and it really goes on how he takes care of his body, adding more to his arsenal of skill to help the team. It really depends on all those factors. But generally, running backs start to slow down and the production starts to slip after the age of 28. After the age of 28, they 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 don't produce like they used to produce. And then when they hit 30, they hit a wall. In most positions, when an NFL player hits 30, they're getting older, the production goes down, but they still are able to do some things that can contribute for a team. Therefore, they're always on a team every year. You probably get like an extra 3 to 4 years out of that NFL player, not a running back. It is rare to find a running back after the age of 30 to still be productive. There have been in NFL history a few examples of running backs that, after the age of 30, they may not be the same their former selves when they were younger, but they can still contribute to a team. But if you look at all running backs, they hit a huge wall. They start to slip a little bit around 27, 28, but then they hit a extremely large wall that they can't overcome or climb over, and they plateau. When you look at Melvin Gordon, you got a lot of examples. Most recently, with the LA Chargers, Pittsburgh, Le'Veon Bell, he demanded a trade. He went to the New York because Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers saw Bell more than any other team. He's been in their facilities. He's been on their team, and they was unwilling to give him a huge payday contract. Why? Because they see the writing on the wall. You give him that huge payday contract, you're not going to get the same production out of him that you did when he was much younger. He starts to plateau a little bit. So then you have to equate that into, okay, we don't mind paying you, but we're not going to give you a huge payday contract. The New York Jets, they were not in the position to dictate that language, that type of communication to Bell. They say, sure, we'll trade for you and we'll give you a huge payday. And they're going to regret, and they already regretting that decision. So much so that the New York Jets organization is in turmoil. Okay, they let go of, I believe, they let go of somebody in their organization that wanted to give him that huge payday contract. So he hasn't even been on the field yet. You don't know, he hasn't played a game yet. And already the New York Jets, he hasn't even put on a jersey on. He hasn't put a jersey on. Already the New York Jets are regretting having buyer's remorse on giving him that huge contract. With the case of Melvin Gordon, the LA Chargers are looking at it like, look, if we give him this huge payday contract, how much production in year-wise we're going to get out of him? Are we going to be in the same boat like the New York Jets? They signed, they traded for a running back, gave him a huge payday, and now they're having buyer remorse and he hasn't even been on the field yet? Or are we going to be like the Rams giving, and I forgot his name. I had his name in my mind, but I forgot it. And he got injured, and he hasn't recovered from the injury, and he hasn't been the same player since that injury. And they're sort of having buyer's remorse. So in today's era, you don't have to mortgage all your money on a top flight, top notch running back. You can pretty much divvy out that money to other positions on your team, particularly if you got a good a good solid quarterback. You can divvy out that money in other aspects in other areas of the team. The Dallas Cowboys are in a different dynamic and a different situation than the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers can look at this and say, well, we'll just go ahead and pay him anyway because Rivers is not getting any older. We're going to be looking for a quarterback anyway. And we got to have somebody here to sell tickets. They can look at it at that aspect. But they're also looking at, we're going to be stuck with this contract with guaranteed money. It's going to be hard to get rid of, and it's going to hurt our cap once we do start rebuilding, because in the NFL you can rebuild very quick. When you draft for a solid quarterback, the process goes a lot quicker. Because now you got your quarterback in place. Now you got to start building everything else around the quarterback and defense. There's more defense. There are more defensive players in the draft, where a couple of years you can have that defense the way you want it. And to harbor back on the Dallas Cowboys, they got some great players on that team, but guess what? They can't pay them all. You got to pay Dak Prescott. And if you pay him, that's less money that you're going to have to pay for all the others. So the Dallas Cowboys are at the position of, if we pay the quarterback, we're going to lose most of these defensive players that we have drafted and groomed. If we stick to our guns, pay these defensive players, then there's a possibility that we're going to lose Dak Prescott. We're going to have no choice but to let him go or trade him to a team to get more draft picks or hopefully another quarterback. And that's the dilemma that the Cowboys are in. But in general, the rule of thumb is you don't have to spend a lot of money on a running back. Okay? So that's all I got for today. Be sure to hit me and follow me on Twitter. I replied to a lot of you guys' comments. One guy commented that he guaranteed that Russell Westbrook was going to be a member of the Miami Heat. And I told him basically we'll see. And now, since Russell Westbrook is now a member of the Houston Rockets, the only if you want to call him a star that's still left on that's on the board is Chris Paul. The Miami Heat are interested, but they're not interested like they was with Russell Westbrook. Okay, let's put it that way. And I told you guys in my last live stream, as well as on Twitter, I see a buyout in Chris Paul than an actual trade. Because don't get it twisted. A lot of teams would love to have Chris Paul, even though he's hard to play for, hard to work with. Sometimes he can strain his relationship with players as well as coaches. But at the end of the day, he's a great floor general. And with his talent and his skill, even at his age, he can still be very productive for a team that's contending and competing for an NBA championship. But I see more of a buyout than an actual trade. I don't think there are any takers for Chris Paul. And Sam Presti, I know he's thinking I can, swap him. I can trade him to another team, get some draft picks. But the teams that have money, have some money, is the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks was interested in Chris Paul, but I felt like the New York Knicks organization was a little too greedy. The Houston Rockets were a little too greedy, and that's why that deal couldn't get done. Another place he could possibly go to as far as trade wise is the Detroit Pistons. They have some cap flexibility, but once again, are they interested in Chris Paul? That so much so that they're going to give away a lot of their draft picks. They may give away some draft picks, but not a lot of draft picks. And same situation. Uh, you know, Oklahoma City get rid of Chris Paul. He goes to Detroit, but then they will have to get a player that Detroit don't no longer want. So it's one of those type of situations. But like I said on Twitter, I see more of a buyout than a trade for Chris Paul. Well, that's all I got for today. Guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all on the next live stream. Deuces.